Welcome to Think Small. Our goal here is simple. We want to give you one tiny but mighty idea to help you lead the week. And this week, we're talking about customer expectations and in particular, how to stay close when they change. So I had a client call me this week letting me know that they felt that they were, quote, facing their blockbuster moment. And my response was, how do you think about it as your Cirque du Soleil opportunity? So back in the 80s, if you were going to a circus, there would have been a whole bunch of things that you would have seen as completely normal that are different now. And Cirque du Soleil were able to subvert and change to create a whole new model that was radically more profitable and much more in tune with the changing needs and expectations of customers. And there's a beautiful tool called the Strategy Curve from Blue Ocean Strategy that I want to show you today that I think gives you 4 unbelievably powerful questions that you could be asking to your team this week. So if we take an example here, right? So we start with the strategy curve. Along the bottom, we've got these factors of competition. So back in the 80s, if you were going to go to a circus, these are some of the things that you might look at as reasons why you may or may not go. So price would be number 1. There'd be star performers, animal shows, aisle concessions, people selling stuff left, right, and center. There'd be these multiple arenas, big tops. There'd be loads of fun, humor, thrills, and danger, and they would have obviously a unique venue. And with the strategy curve, you can start planning on to what extent do you focus on these in your business or your industry to a low, medium, or high degree. So this is what it looked like for a typical circus back in the 80s. Price was low, there was a real focus on these star performers, animals were the star of the show, loads and loads of aisle concessions, multiple arenas, fun and humor, thrills and danger, and the venues weren't really that unique. What Cirque du Soleil were able to do was come along and challenge some of the assumptions of the industry, and you could map this for any circus, and that curve would look pretty similar. So first of all, they believed that if you looked at this in a slightly different way and asked these 4 questions, there was a way to create a radically new and improved business concept. Number 1, they believed there was an opportunity to charge much more, have high price tickets. And the first question they asked to do that was, what are the factors of competition that we could eliminate? Because now we know customers don't really care about them. So we know star performers maybe aren't that big a deal. Animal shows, people were starting to get more conscientious about animal welfare, and so they decided to pull those entirely from the concept. Same for aisle concessions, none of that walking around selling stuff during the show, and likewise moving people around these multiple arenas didn't really add much value to the customer experience, but also all these things added tons of cost to the business and drove down profitability. The second question that they asked were, what factors could we reduce below industry standards? So we said, okay, they said, we're going to reduce the fun and the humor, we're going to pull back on the thrills and spills because we don't think that they're that important. Next question, what are the factors that we could raise above industry standards? For them, this idea of a unique venue, unbelievable set was something they thought that they could really do differently and create a really immersive experience. And the final question they asked, well, what are new factors of competition that we could introduce that nobody else does? As they brought in music, dance, themed events, and as a result, were able to create the Cirque du Soleil that we have known and loved until sadly they weren't able to keep up with the COVID era. So my advice to you this week would be, ask those 4 questions with your team. What are some of the things that we take for granted in our industry that actually now maybe we could be eliminating because our clients and customers don't really care? What are the things that we could be lowering below industry standards? What are those factors of competition that we believe customers really care about, really create value, that we should be pushing above industry standards? And what are those things, those new factors of competition that we could be creating and introducing to create something radically different? If this has been valuable for you, thank you for watching. I'd ask you one favor. Please share this with just one other person that you think would enjoy this. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week.